It is Friday, the 24th day of November 2023. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the station where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's take a look at some of the news making headlines today. Now, as the world gathers in Dubai ahead of next week's COP28 climate conference, various organizations in the country have continued to champion for the inclusion of women and young girls in the climate discussions. This comes even as Mama Doing Good, in partnership with Roots Kenya, hosted a pre-COP28 media breakfast in Nairobi today to reflect on the role of women in climate change and how this can be strengthened. Grace Ahati with the details.
With all roads leading to Dubai for the COP28 climate conference happening from 30th November to 12th December 2023, Kenya is expected to be a leading voice on climate change, especially with the recent Africa Climate Summit that was held in Nairobi. Recognizing the enormous potential of women and their role in harnessing climate adaptation goals, Mama Doing Good, in partnership with Roots Kenya, has hosted a pre-COP28 media breakfast in Nairobi to reflect on this.
Families are transformed.
Speaking during the meeting, the President's Women's Rights Advisor Harriet Chigai has noted that women are at the heart of climate change mitigation and conservation, as they bear the brunt of the impacts of climate change, often being responsible for food production, water collection, and the overall well-being of their families and communities.
We know that women, girls, and those living with disability are more susceptible to the effects of climate change. This is due to social, political, economic inequalities that limit their autonomy and access to resources. We agree here that they also play an important role in helping to prepare for the most adverse impacts of climate change on households and communities. It is evident, and we have seen their contribution to climate change mitigation, adaptation, and resilience.
While acknowledging that climate change has indeed affected millions of people, putting women in rural areas at greater risk due to marginalization, she noted that plans are underway to involve them in the climate conversation as well as empower them.
Rural women are still amongst the most marginalized groups in the society, as they are largely excluded from land ownership and from credit in Africa. They also have little access to emerging technology. My office is soon leading an Africa conversation on a build-up from the African Climate Summit on investing in Africa women farmers to increase food security on the continent.
On his part, Mama Doing Good CEO Dr. John Chumo noted that the organization is on course towards involving women in mitigating the effects of climate change.
Despite the adversities we face, African women have emerged as powerful champions of climate action. They are at the forefront of sustainable development initiatives, advocating for renewable energy, promoting climate-smart agriculture, and driving innovation in adaptation and resilience strategies. It is high time that we recognize their contributions and empower them further to lead us towards a sustainable future.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace Ahati, for that report. The judiciary has been urged to work together with other institutions within the legal and justice system in building a society where justice is not a privilege but a fundamental right for all Kenyans. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has called upon those institutions to ensure a holistic approach to justice. Mudavadi says Kenya's Constitution 2010 provides a comprehensive list of values and principles that obligate all state organs, state officers, public officials, and individuals to adhere to. He mentioned that Kenya has earned its place among democratic states regionally and internationally for its progressive and transformation constitution.
There are fundamental questions. When should a minister step out of office? When there's a change of government. Does he do any handing over formally? Or does he just disappear with the files and records? What about the PSs? The principal secretaries? There's a very serious gap there, and a lot of things happen. For the judiciary to further enhance its services to uphold justice, there will be need as a priority to look at the following. One, for timely resolution of cases, streamlining court processes, reducing case backlogs, and ensuring efficient administration of justice, removing cobwebs that hinder transparency and accountability in judicial proceedings, rapid integration of technology in processes to improve court operations, as we have seen through the e-filing and virtual hearing, and fourth, for training and capacity building.
Now to the KCPE results that were just released yesterday. CTAM schools continue to celebrate their good performance across their schools in different counties. CTAM Woodley produced the highest number of students with above 400 marks at 13, as well as the best student with 421 marks, I beg your pardon. CTAM Kisumu's leading student garnered 417 marks among the 8 who had more than 400 marks. In CTAM Gong, 6 students scored more than 400, while in CTAM Buruburu, 4 students scored more than 400. Let us now join Nicholas Kivite, who is at CTAM Woodley, where the leading student scored 421 marks.
Thank you so much. I'm joining you live from CTAM Schools Woodley. This has been one of the best schools in Kibra sub-county. They have always been topping and always producing the best students in Nairobi County. And generally, CTAM schools have always been performing well. Here tonight, I'm joined by some of the best students in this school. Some of them were even among the top 100 in the KCPE this year. And on my right, I have one of the guys who was among the top. And we're just going to start shortly. I just want to interview him shortly. Tell us his name, how he performed, and how he felt. Yeah, we can just start by telling us your name and how many marks did you get? How did you feel? Yeah.
My name is Trevor Ngure. I got 403 in the KCP, and when I received my marks, I was overzealous after being anxious for a while, but it was fruitful. And I think special thanks are in for my father, who was a pivotal aspect in my success, and also for the ministry. Some gratitude to them for their diligence and resilience in shaping me physically, mentally, and spiritually.
And maybe which school would you like to join, and what would you like to be in future?
I'd like to join Mangu schools, and I'd like to be an aeronautical engineer.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Congratulations. Maybe someone wants to join CTAM schools. What can you tell such a person? What is unique with CTAM schools?
I think even the diligence, resilience, and perseverance of the teachers is enough to pull you to this school, because the work they put into the children is just outstanding, and I think this is the place to be.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Maybe we have one more student, a female. This one round, you can just come closer. Tell us your name. How many marks did you get? Did you expect that? How did you feel? And what do you have to say to the people who helped you, your parents, your teachers? What do you have to say?
Okay. My name is Shana Mutai. I got 408 marks in the last KCPE of 2023. And honestly, I think it's just natural for every student, every ex-candidate in Kenya to have expected a bit more from this last exam. But I'm grateful. I'm very happy. I'm grateful. And I would love to join the Kenya High School and probably study medicine, specifically cardiology, or be a neurosurgeon. And for like those who, for my parents, my siblings, my extended family, I'm so grateful to all of you guys. Thank you so much for motivating me, encouraging me. And like to anyone who didn't get what they really wanted, and like what they didn't get what they planned, just know man may have his plans, but the future lies in God's hand, and I'm like really happy. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shana. And maybe for the last question, someone is watching you tonight and maybe wants to join CITAM. What is unique with CITAM, or what can you say? What can you say is good with CITAM schools?
Okay, joining CITAM, it's a worthwhile experience. The discipline you get, the morals you acquire from the teachers, and overall the teachers are just good. They're devoted to their work. They're really invested in you. So yes, it is really good to come here. It's an amazing school. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mutai. We also have a teacher here tonight. I'm going to interview one of the teachers. You can just come closer, tell us your name, and how did you feel your school is number one in Kibra sub-county and has also produced the best top students, has produced top students in Nairobi County and even in Kenya overall. Tell us your name and how do you feel about this?
I feel like dancing. I'm happy. I'm Teacher Peter, and I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be in CITAM, and I'm proud of the learners. Though what I've said is true, we didn't expect that much standardization. The cutoff mark 428, different from last year. We had 9,400. This year we have 8,000. So we didn't expect that, but so far so good. We are happy. We have a student 421, the best in Kibra sub-county. We have 13,400s. Yay, CITAM goodly, and we are proud as teachers. We are proud of the learners. At least the hard work has paid off, and we thank God. We thank CITAM as a ministry for coming in through and supporting us, and say kudos. Welcome to CITAM, the place to be.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Maybe I can be joined by some of the parents here. Can start with the gent here. You can just tell us your name and maybe your father to who, and how do you feel?
My name is George Ngure. I'm a father to Trevor Ngure, who was a candidate in the year 2023, and he got 403 marks, but we are glad of the marks. I know he expected more, but we are grateful for the marks that he got in this year. We have been in CITAM for quite some years, so we have been part of the process. I have seen part of the process, which is what I appreciate of the value system that CITAM as an establishment, they have been able to put across, and which is very helpful for the children and to nurture them, both physically, spiritually, and for the entire welfare of the children, and also because they are able to nurture the whole person. I think that is what I'm very glad about, and why I highly recommend CITAM for any parent who may be considering to looking for a school for their girl or boy.
Thank you so much. I have another female parent. Maybe you can finish up with you. You can tell us your name, your mother to who, and how did you feel that your child got good marks, and what can you say about CITAM schools?
Thank you very much. My name is Lydia Ayase. I'm a parent to Daniel Ayase. He got 404 marks. We are really grateful to God. We are elated by the results, and we thank God. We return all the glory to God. We acknowledge that this is His doing. CITAM schools is very commendable, for the learning experience here is holistic in nature, and you get to get the whole person trained, both spiritually, apart from the educational aspect of it, as well as the physical activities that they have here. We are really grateful for this school, and we recommend this school to all parents out there who are looking for schools to bring their students here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is all from CITAM schools only, and maybe I can summarize. This school, I told you, that is the best in Kibra sub-county this year, and it has always been topping and producing best students in Nairobi County. This year they had a mean score of 368, and they managed to have more than 13 students managed to get more than 400 marks. Yes, from CITAM Udli, my name is Nicholas Kivite.
There you have it. Thank you, Nicholas Kivite, even as we congratulate CITAM schools as they continue to shine in national examinations. Moving on to other news, President William Ruto has said that East Africa has the potential to unite the whole continent of Africa. Speaking at the EAC High-Level Forum on Climate Change and Food Security in Arusha, President Ruto said that Kenya is 100% with the East African community and is keen to bring aid to the Eastern DRC. On climate change, Ruto said that innovative and sustainable measures must be devised to mitigate the effects of climate crisis, noting that Africa will showcase its assets, including a hardworking and skilled human capital, immense renewable energy reserves, and the largest swaths of uncultivated arable land. These measures, he noted, will be assumed by the East African community as it heads to Dubai for COP28 later this month.
We are meeting in this summit in the context of a fairly difficult situation globally, occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, the conflict in Europe, the conflicts in our region, and the difficult times occasioned by climate change, both drought and the current situation of El Nino that we have across our region. Even in that context that looks a bit gloomy, we must not lose sight of the great opportunity that exists in our region and the huge potential that the 7, now 8 countries of the East African community have as we face the future. Today, in our meeting, we've had a conversation about how we need to hasten the process of political integration in our region. When the committee of experts visited Kenya, they had a wonderful experience, and they are sitting here, they will tell you. Many people in Kenya told them that they were delaying with the integration of East Africa. It is my considered view that as we focus into the next 1 year, that we will conclude the consultations so that we can further our integration, because I am solidly sold to the idea that it is East Africa that is eventually going to unite the continent of Africa.
And on that note, let us take a short break on Newswatch tonight. We'll be back shortly.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Sindio?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Do they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcast?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo.
A very warm welcome back. Glad you're still with us. Now, more than 1 million people are addicted to alcohol, drugs, and other substances in the Rift Valley region. Out of those, over 400,000 are in need of rehabilitation services. This is according to the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, Chairman Reverend Stephen Mairori, who spoke during the launch of a treatment and rehabilitation center at the Koiwa Hospital in Bomet County, a facility that was opened by the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. Pastor Dorcas, while opening the center, noted that a 22% prevalence of drugs and substance abuse in Bomet County is worrying. The Office of the Spouse of the Deputy President in collaboration with other stakeholders, has been conducting a screening exercise to identify those in need of rehabilitation services.
In Rift Valley alone, Your Excellency, about 1 million people use alcohol and other forms of drugs, over 1 million. And actually, those who need rehabilitation are about 400,000. That's a very large number. So what this place can only take is a very small portion of that. But we are very grateful, Governor, you have all these other beds that can be used.
We identified 37 young men ready for rehabilitation. In Sotik, there were 56 who have agreed. We have Chepalungu, 72, Bomet East, 41, Bomet Central, 41. These numbers, those who they speak of the volume of the people or the density of the problem we are having. I understand 22% prevalence of abuse of drugs. That is very bad. Tumesema tuanze kushirikiana tuone hii mambo yote tumeangamiza. Mama, mutanisaidia? Mutanisaidia? Ninaona mama hapa. Muko? Mutanisaidia? Tumalize hii pombe. Nasikia kwingine wanaenda wakisema huyu mama anataka watu wafunge biashara. Wacha biashara hizo zifungwe, watu wafanye kazi ingine. Hii biashara ya kuua watoto wetu waache.
The National Employment Authority, NEA, has stated that private firms outside the country seeking to hire employees from Kenya must now seek approval from the government. In a press briefing today, the authority says this move seeks to protect Kenyan migrant workers. Veronica Wanjiro with more on this story.
The National Employment Authority, NEA, has been playing a key role in facilitating job placements for job seekers between July 2022 and October 2023. Today, the Principal Secretary of the State Department for Labor and Skills Development, Mr. Shadrach Mwandeme, in a press briefing on the registration of private employment agencies and the protection of migrant workers, said that private firms outside the country must now have government's approval before employing Kenyan workers. Shadrach revealed that there are currently over 4 million Kenyans residing overseas, a large portion of them being migrant laborers. According to him, this move will enhance the protection and welfare of Kenyan employees working outside the country.
The object of this presser was basically to appraise Kenyans concerning the process of labor migration, because we want it to be done in a systematic and a formal way. We want to encourage Kenyans who would wish to work abroad and would wish to register with these recruitment agencies, first of all, to verify in the National Employment Authority website whether their status as it is legal or illegal. If they are in red, it means that they have not met all the requirements set. But if they are in black, then Kenyans can go ahead and register with them and also apply for the job opportunities that they may be applying.
He also gave the public the assurance that all private employment agencies would be subject to inspection by the government's interministerial vetting committee, which will make sure that they adhere to all regulations and standards.
It is an expensive venture, but we feel it is worth it because one of the responsibilities of the government is to ensure the safety of our people working. I thank you.
Veronica Wanjiru, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Veronica, for that report. The spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, this morning led Bomet University College students in a tree planting exercise in the ongoing 15 billion trees target by 2032 set by President William Ruto. Speaking during the exercise of planting 10,000 trees, Pastor Dorcas said it is one way of mitigating climate change for the future. Pastor Dorcas said some of the challenges affecting the world on matters of climate change are as a result of neglecting the environment in the past. Pastor Dorcas also challenged the students to shun away from drugs and substance abuse, noting that this has become a national crisis.
Vice Chancellor, I know that this action that you are taking to green the country or to green your environment, it's a future. And when I look in front of me, I see the future. Nyinyi, you are the future. Ndio kesho yetu. And when you are taking care of the future, I am very glad as a mother because I know your children will live in a good environment. Your children will not come and find this flooding. And you see, sometimes when we talk about climate change, you think it's not a reality. But right now, look at what is happening even in the desert like Dubai. There are floods and people are suffering. You go to Northeastern, we have a lot of rain, excessive rain. And I think if we can be able to mitigate for climate change, the action that you are taking today by planting trees.
Despite various government and non-governmental organizations promoting the fight against FGM and early marriage in West Pokot County, poverty, drought, and cattle theft continue to contribute to the increase in cases of early marriage. However, Umoja Development Organization, which fights for children's interests, has called on the government to develop alternative methods to help the locals earn income. Locals also told of their plight, which has largely contributed to the deterioration of the education of the girl child in the area.
Solutions ya hii vitu yote lazima itoke kwa wenyeji, si watu kutoka nje, na tumeona kwamba imeproduce results, kwa sababu ukiangalia saa hizi kuna mahali ambapo tumeenda na community immediately wamepeleka watoto zaidi ya 100 shule. So tunaona kwamba hiyo ni maneno mazuri, na ile kitu kingine tumefanya ni kwamba tume encourage ama tumeonyesha hii watu ya hii community jinsi ya kwenda ile adult class. Kuna mahali inaitwa na kwa Lopet Ward. Tumepata kwamba wamama wenyewe wameenda Kumbaro na zaidi ya wamama 78 saizi wako shule na hao wametuma watoto wao shule. So hiyo ndio baadhi ya vitu ambavyo tumefanya kama shirika la UDO, na bado tunaendelea na hii exchange programs, community engagement, kuhusisha vijana, kuhusisha wazee, kuhusisha wale walikuwa na keketa.
Unapata ya kwamba wakati kuna njaa haswa katika miji, wazazi wanaweza chukua hawa watoto wasichana kwenda kuwapeleka watafute gold ili waende kuuza wapate at least kitu ambacho watakula. Lakini tukiona kwamba serikali wakiingilia kati waone kwamba jamii kuna kitu zinafanya ili kupata at least kitu cha kuwakidhi katika maisha yao, tutaona ya kwamba hawatasumbukana sana kuweza kutafuta msichana aende ailime gold ama atafute kitu kingine ili waweze kujisustain katika maisha yao.
Sasa inakuwa ni vigumu iwapo mzazi hana rasilimali ya kutosha, na ndiposa anaweza
wameweza kuona kwamba huyu mtoto msichana akiweza kuolewa saa hii itaweza kupata mali kwa sasa ambayo ataweza labda kumwezesha mvulana mmoja kuweza kuoa ama kuwezesha jamii yake iweze kula wapate kuendelea na maisha. Kwa hivyo wajishughulishe katika shughuli mbalimbali za biashara na pia kilimo, that is irrigation.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo.
It's finally here. The breakfast show that will kickstart your morning with a message of hope, coupled up with wholesome music, and of course, captivating conversations that matter to you.
We shall touch on topics on law, relationships, the Christian walk, and in addition, we will also be keeping you up to date with news and all the trending topics.
Join me, Beatrice Watare,
and me, George Gishuru, every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Hope at Dawn.
Only on Hope TV, where you look
and live.
Welcome back. Now in business, the Federation of Kenya Employers, FKE, has highlighted the difficulties businesses are facing to cope with the economic situation in the country since the beginning of the implementation of the Finance Act 2023. FKE has expressed concerns about the potential for unemployment in the country, noting that many employers are bent on sacking their employees in order to save their businesses. According to employers, the business and employment sector is still facing challenges following the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, adding that the increase in taxes has worsened the economic situation in the country even more.
The cost of doing business has become unsustainable since the enactment and implementation of the Finance Act of 2023. The employer's view is that the changes have had an overall negative impact on cash flows and the financial position of enterprises in various ways. One is, for example, the direct impact on the payroll. The other one is the impact on the demand for general wage review by the workers. And then, of course, the risk of business closure and increased laying off of employees. The weakening of the shilling has aggravated the situation further and has adversely affected businesses that rely on imports, including the imports of machinery and equipment necessary for their manufacturing industries. The Kenya shilling, for instance, has lost almost 21% of its value between 13th of September 2022 and 22nd of November 2023. The exchange rate of the Kenya shilling against the US dollar has hit a high of 152 shillings and 45 cents compared to 121 shillings and 5 cents at the same time in 2022. This has been largely attributed to, one is capital flight, and secondly, the reduced inflow of foreign currency due to the low value of the exports. The employment state is still very fragile. We are not yet back on track since COVID-19. Every day we receive notifications from employers of their intent to declare redundancy. We are also conducting a survey on employers to determine the impact of the increased cost on jobs. Preliminary results show that it is significant. It shows that between October 2022 and November 2023, we have lost 3%. That's about 70,000 of the jobs in the formal private sector. and 40% of employers have reported that they're planning to reduce the number of employees to meet the increasing cost of operating in Kenya. We will be launching the full survey report on the jobs trends in the month of December this year.
Katano Kenya has launched its dealer partnership with Ford Motors Kenya as they opened the new Ford showroom. Katano was recently appointed as the new dealer of Ford vehicles in Kenya following the termination of Ford's partnership with their previous distributor. As part of the event, they also launched the next generation Ford vehicles, Ranger, Raptor, and Everest. Ford is one of the best performing vehicles in the SUV and light commercial vehicles segments in Kenya, and it is expected to grow as the sales of new vehicles in this market is driven by the demand for transportation in the construction, mining, agribusiness, tourism, energy, and retail sectors. And in sports, Harambee Starlets today entered their 5th day of residential training at Kasarani Annex. They have intensified their preparations ahead of their first leg of the 2024 Women Africa Cup of Nations match against Botswana on Wednesday at Nyayo Stadium. The team is now urging fans to show up to boost their morale during the game.
Okay, so far the team is training, gelling well. Some of the professionals are in. Lona arrived first, and all the players from Simba are here. And today we're expecting Majolin also to come in. First of all is to thank them for always rallying behind the national teams, especially the Harambee Starlets. I will urge them to come to the pitch. It's not a good day, it's an office day, it's a working day. But if we can just try, come to the match, support the girls. The girls are always looking forward to play with fans around. We've always counted on the 12th man. They don't play, but there's something they bring to the stadium. The support they bring to the stadium will be good for us. We hope that they'll come in numbers.
Tukiweza kuqualify Botswana tuta manage kuingia AFCON. So ni a big challenge na pia ni opportunity kubwa sana to Kenyans because at least inatufanya ball ya mademi inakuwa na sauti everywhere. Juu ball ni kitu ukionekana, the more unaonekana the more unaweza enda mbali, but the more uonekani huwezi onekana. So to our fans nasema mkam wote venye mlikam last time. You guys did a good job. That's why we won that match. So tunaomba tu mkam, mtu support. Tunajua tutawapea results poa.
Mimi naweza sema fans kujeni walai. Najua tutashinda. Juu mkiwa hapo mnatupatia support. Tunakuwa na ile morali ya kucheza. Sasa na urge mkuje, mtupatie support, ile psych, moral na najua tutashinda na tutawa make proud.
Well, that story brings us to the end of Newswatch tonight. On behalf of the whole team, thank you for watching. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Have a good night.